It's live, Jacob.
We call the council meeting for June 18th, 2020 to order. Madam Clerk, please.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Present. Councilman White.
Present.
Councilman Chatterley.
Present.
Councilman Johnson.
Present.
Councilman Wheeler. Present. Mayor Bodier.
Present.
Police Chief Walker.
Here.
Fire Chief St. Cyr.
Present.
Finance Director Todd Twenty-One.
Present.
City Attorney Scott Stansbury.
Present.
Municipal Clerk Foley. Present.
Mayor, before we get started, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda under executive session to add woods material.
We have a motion by Councilman Johnson on the executive session to add woods material to the agenda. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yeah.
What's that?
Public hearing.
I'm sorry, open for public hearing, adding woods to executive session. No one comes before we're going to close public hearing. All in favor?
Yeah.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Woods material is added to the executive session. Is that it, guys? It's been a tough month. I mean, I'm sure we all see everything that I see on TV. It's a shame to say, even in our own community, that we have so many people using Facebook for bullying tactics and as a weapon. It's sad. This is a time where us as a city need to do everything we possibly can to come together and work together to move the city forward. I know that myself and my team have just done that. Police department, fire department. We've been out working real hard to promote our businesses and just be, the backbone for our businesses, to be a voice of for them to call whenever they're scared or they need someone to talk to about how do they stay in business. I have a small business as well, and so we've been doing everything we can to work real hard in our community, show our support while still moving the community forward. So I just want to tell everybody, be strong and try to be kind. There's no reason for us to be mean to one another right now. Even I know that seems such to be a common thread amongst a very small few. But please don't buy into it. Don't believe everything you read on social media. And be kind to your neighbor. See him help. They need help. Go out and do your thing and help. We got a big project right in the middle of Lift Station 5 in Harahan Oaks. I know we had a situation over the week. They were pulling a piece of tree root out and grabbed the water main, popped the water main in half, so the water went down for a little bit. We were all over the top of it. Police and fire were notified immediately, and I believe they got it fixed pretty fast. We're very excited about the new upgrade in Lift Station 5 because of the location of it and the soil subsidence that we've been doing, and we actually have a soil subsidence company out there doing soil samples for us, so we make sure that when we do build it back, we build it back right. We're not revisiting this project again. What we're basically gonna do is take a valve box and bring it from in the ground and put it out of the ground, drop sheet pile underneath it and put pounds on the, to give it extra support to where it doesn't sink again. I've been in constant communication with the chairperson for the Harahan Oaks Civic Association, Ms. Tina, and keeping her informed about everything, as well as I had a neighborhood meeting with them to let them know what we were doing back there. We did fix the lawn in David Catalano's yard that was right on the side of Wilson. And we are now in the process of reaching out to the federal government and the state for funding of doing more infrastructure up repairs. There's a very particular line I'd like to repair or replace, I should say, and that's the Wilson Street line. I want to get it out of people's backyards and into the street and upgrade that line at the same time, because if not, every mayor after me will revisit this and we will continue to waste taxpayers' dollars until we do this the right way. It'll be very expensive, and but it will be one that we will spend money on one time, hopefully not ever again. Before we begin with the agenda, I would like to make a motion to, I'd like to ask for a motion to amend the agenda to new business number 4, New Orleans Advocate Official Journey Bid, July 1, 2020, June 30th, 2021. Motion. All right. Motion by Councilman Johnson. Okay. All right, we'll open for public hearing about anyone who can speak forth about having the Advocate as our official journal. No one wants to come forward and speak forward, so we're going to close public hearing. We have a motion by Councilman Johnston, and a second by Councilman Chatelain. All in favor?
Yeah.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Advocate remains our official journal. I'm sorry, we added to new business. I'm sorry. That's something a little bit. Special presentations.
State Representative John Gill, recognizing the city of Harahan's 100th year of incorporation.
Just real fast, I'd like to introduce everybody to our state representative, John Hill. I've only got to spend one day with him in Baton Rouge. He is very impressive and he commands the room, and he is, I believe, in my heart, a true asset to the city of Harahan. He is working his butt off for us, let me tell you. Thank you.
I appreciate that, Mr. Mayor. I'm used to the podium that raises up the back. You said that first time, I ain't know what it said, it raises. Maybe we can work on that.
Yes, sir.
Raise y'all some money for a new podium. We are working hard to help Harahan out. I've worked with Brian Wallace throughout this crisis, and it is a crisis throughout the entire state. And a lot of things get overlooked, such as the Harahan Centennial. I recently filed a resolution, House Resolution 35, commemorating Harahan on its centennial. I will like to have a formal presentation to you. You guys make it up on Tuesday. We're finally letting people back into the Capitol in limited groups. And Jefferson Parish had a lunch last week, which wasn't very heavily attended, but hopefully we'll get more attendance this week, along with the representatives. The chairman of Ways and Means, I have expressed the projects that need to be done in Harahan, and his focus through this has been more bricks and mortar going forward, meaning roads, bridges, storage, drainage, which is good for Harahan. And I've gotten him, he knows our needs. We're going to try and get some projects started with your applications, and myself and Senator Talbot signing off on trying to promote these projects. I would, later in the fall, hopefully we can get through this and celebrate the centennial the right way. I'm working on getting a lieutenant governor, possibly the governor down here for the celebration. And hopefully we can all gather like we'd like to at the playground. Harahan has meant a lot to me. I grew up here, met my wife here, we married in St. Rita, coached the playground. This city means a lot to me. As you guys know, and the time I spent, probably spend more time with people in Harahan than the rest of my district. The rest of my district is taken care of by Jefferson Parish, and I work with those officials also, but my heart is here, and I want to help you guys in every way I can. And especially, I know this isn't the way you guys wanted to celebrate the 100th years, but we are going to get through this. The state is working very well together on both sides of the aisle, and we're going to do what we can to keep Harahan and keep this state on forward. And I appreciate you guys being here. I look forward to seeing you guys on Tuesday so we can present you the resolution in a proper way. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Chief Walker, current state of Harahan Police Department.
Mayor Council, Tim Walker, Eric Lucci. First, I'd like to introduce BFW Post 3267 Commander Jeff Henderson. He will not make about $5,000 drawing that was postponed from March 27th.
How y'all doing? Tab Henderson again, Commander GFW Post 3267. We've been shut down for probably the last 4 months. Just want to let everybody know we are back open, hosting events again. We did have a $5,000 drawing that was supposed to be at the end of March. It's postponed, it's actually going to take place next weekend, on the 27th. And then in July the 11th, we actually have our indoor craft fair, which is something we do 3 times a year. So just want to get the word out, we're all back open, and that's it.
Get tickets left.
Yeah, about 10 tickets. So everybody wants one, they're $50 piece. Free beer, free food. Vince Vance will be there. Chief will be there, and I'll be there. So, thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tickets are $50. I have 4 left to stay up. Anybody's interested. Can I please report that the HPD, Harahan Police Department, should be purchasing new vehicles and laptop computers with non-city of Harahan funds, meaning that the funding for it did not come out of the city budget. Again, I want to acknowledge and thank the men and women of the Harahan Police Department for the dedication and commitment to the city of Harahan for providing excellent police service. And don't forget, we get the drug box in the front lobby at the station. It's 24/7. Your unwanted medication, whether it's prescribed or over the counter, can be dropped in the box any day. Okay. Some people still at home. We noticed riding around patrol, a lot of houses still don't have their house numbers out or visible. So please check them. If you have some free time, put some numbers that are visible on your front porch. And if you see something, say something, call 911. Don't forget, 4th of July, you have a happy and safe day, and thank you. God bless.
Chief, quick question.
Yeah.
The money that you use for the cars and laptops, was that grant money from the parish?
Pardon?
Was that grant money from the parish?
Part of it was the parish and Department of Justice.
Thank you.
Approval of the minutes. Reading of the minutes of the council meeting on May 21st.
Okay, public hearing is now open. No one comes to us before from the minutes, public hearing is now closed.
Move to dispense with the reading.
Motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman.
Before we move
Sorry.
forward, there may be an error in the minutes.
This was the dispense.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson to dispense with the reading of the minutes. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. It has been dispensed.
Approval of the minutes of the council meeting on May 21st.
Okay, public hearing is now open. If anyone speaks on the approval of the minutes of the council meeting for May 21st, 2020, and coming forward, we will close public hearing. So I have a motion to approve the minutes.
Before we move forward, in new business number 4, it has us passing that 5-0. And I believe, if I recall, Councilman Callaway
There was one
abstained.
extension, bro.
Was that?
One extension.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to correct the minutes as presented.
So I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Buddy to add the license for a couple mats to 4 yeas, 1 abstention on favor. Yeah,
Sorry.
Who was the second?
I'm sorry, who was the second? Craig was the second. All in favor, Councilman Johnson, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, all in favor, 5 yeas, 0 nays. Minutes have been amended. Now can we vote on approval for the minutes? Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Hasbro, all in favor?
Yeah.
5 yeas, 0 nays, minutes are approved with the minutes.
No communications, no resolutions, and ordinances for approval. Proposed ordinance number 2020-6. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman Wheeler. An ordinance repealing ordinance number 928 and eliminating Harahan Code of Ordinances, section 34-2, and the related annual fire department service charge.
Okay, public hearing is now open. Commissioner Jean, it is very nice to see you.
Eugene Casanate, Oak Avenue, Harahan. What happened to the proposed fire department village that was voted to be voted on June? I know the election has been moved to August. Is the village still on the ballot since no resolution has been passed by the mayor and the council concerning removal of this village from the ballot? Did you pull it down? Or if so, when did you pull it down?
Ms. McGee,
And who pulled it
I'm
down?
sorry to interrupt, but
And could you please explain the process?
this ordinance is not pertaining to the village itself. So that would be, we could talk about that, address the council, but I think the mayor has a report on that later as well.
Yes.
So, if we can stick to the ordinance itself, is a $15 charge on the tax bill.
Okay, so I'll be back with this,
Yes,
rest of the comments.
Thank you.
anyone else going to speak for? No one else going to speak for? Public hearing is now closed.
Madam Clerk, I withdraw the ordinance.
Okay. Councilman Hasbro, this was the ordinance is withdrawn.
We still need to be paying
Ordinances for introduction. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Mansfield. Proposed ordinance number 2020-8, an ordinance amending ordinance number 1885, the annual budget of revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2020, for the capital project fund of the city of Harahan, Louisiana. This is for the fire department. No old business. New business number 1, Todd Tunion, Finance Director, monthly financials with budget to actual comparison.
All right. So we're here just to give a brief update from the finance team. Couple things. One, just to make the committee or the council and the citizens aware that we've been working with the city's external audit firm on the external audit as of and for the year ended December 31, 2019. As due to the legislative auditor's office by June 30th, and we expect to meet that deadline. And we currently continue to project an increase in the fund balance for the December 31, 2019 year. So we previously communicated that to you in the prior meetings, and we continue to project that at least through December 31st. Specifically in regards to the 2020 activity, certainly sales tax revenue has been impacted for the city. We've seen a decrease, and the mayor mentioned that in his comments at the prior meeting. Although, just quite frankly, it's been less of a decline than I may have expected the most recent month. So we received in June the May sales tax receipt of $168,000 net, which is less than what we had averaged in many of the months throughout the prior year, 2019. But less of a decrease than perhaps I was initially expecting. So we do continue to receive sales tax receipts. Yesterday, we received the garbage and sewer funds that the parish always sends to us each month. So we do continue to receive funds within the city. We are currently working on the projection and an update of the budget through the end of December of 2020, so that we can have a better feel for where the city expects to be near the end of the year. A couple additional items of note. If you look at the disbursement register, specifically for the month of May, there were two large or out of the norm checks that were written. One was to the outstanding debt that the city has, so we made a principal and interest payment on the outstanding debt for about $230,000, and that's contractually required for the city to make. We have only 3 years left on that outstanding bond issue, and that's paid out of the general fund. And then we also bought a new pump. I know the mayor has talked about it in a number of recent meetings. And so that was a one-time purchase as well. And then lastly, just to add to the chief's comment on the use of funds and some of the purchases. So the DOJ funds that the police department has used to buy some equipment in 2019 and 2020, that's folded up within the general fund of the city. So if you're looking at just police department expenses, those expenses are recorded and included in the total police department expenses, but we do have other sources of funds that basically put the cash in the city's general fund. That's the brief update for the citizens and to the council members of the state of the finance department.
Kyle, as you prepare to look at the budget for 2020 reload, would you please prepare an analysis of cash funds, restricted, non-restricted, something that we really need to look real hard at. And also, and it may have something to do with some other funding, but the police department appears to be exceeding its budget this year to date through May by a pretty large sum. A good bit of it appears to be in payroll, which wouldn't seem to be anything to do with vehicle equipment. So if you could look at that in particular.
Certainly, we can.
Okay.
One other thing to add for the council's benefit is over the last week, and I want to steal Mr. Wallace's thunder. I don't know if he's going to present tonight, but we have helped the city with the application for funding through the state of Louisiana through the CARES Act. So that application was submitted on Monday this week, and we'll wait and see as questions arise and we work through that process for the city to be reimbursed for the certain costs related to COVID.
That CARES Act, we submit that to Jefferson Parish?
It's actually through the state. I believe where's Brian?
Through the state?
Through the state, but the way that the allocation works is, I don't know how much, but a certain pool of money was given to the state. The state allocated it to each parish. So Jefferson Parish has $44 million. That's the most that all the agencies within Jefferson Parish will, at least based on my understanding, can receive out of this first tranche or the first reimbursement process.
Yeah, that's the way I understood it. It was going to the parish, and the parish would disperse it to us, or just allocate it to Jefferson Parish and the state would disperse it?
My understanding is it's dispersed through the state because all of the information, all the application stuff done online is through a state, I believe a state website. But the maximum amount that all the entities parish-wide in Jefferson Parish can receive is $44 million.
Okay, I was just a little confused because it keeps saying Jefferson Parish is approved for $44 million. So I'm like, well, are we applying to Jefferson Parish or are we applying to the state?
No,
So it's just that amount is allocated, but Jefferson Parish, you're still applying to the state, the state's gonna disperse it. All right, understandable.
correct. And the way the allocation was done, I think it was based on population, it was based on like numbers of COVID cases, or there were several different factors, but 44 million is the number for Jefferson Parish.
Thank you.
New business number 2, Planning and zoning board dismissal, appointment.
Okay, public hearing is now open. Planning and zoning board dismissals and appointments. No one comes to speak forth. Public hearing is now closed. Council discussion.
So I just want to make a couple comments. Just going back, we did it last year as well. The council is required to do a review of attendance of the commission and the board of adjustments. And we have somebody who is under the attendance rate of 75%. In fact, Mr. Whittle has made one meeting in the past year. And so I'm gonna move to remove Mr. Brian Whittle from planning and zoning commission for violation of the attendance requirement of the city.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill,
Second.
second by Councilman Buddy to remove Brian Little from the planning and zoning board. All in favor?
Yeah.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
And so now there's a vacancy for the citizens out there. There's a vacancy. I hope that some of you out there, maybe even in this room, will consider serving the city and your fellow neighbors. Please contact us if you're interested, and somebody will put up a nomination for next month. Thank you. Oh.
Business number 3, rescheduling the July 16th council meeting to July 23rd.
Okay, public hearing is now open on rescheduling the July 16th meeting to July 23rd. Anyone come to speak forth? Anyone come to speak forth? The public hearing is now closed. Council discussion.
I've requested this reschedule, so if everybody could accommodate your schedule.
Same time, 7 o'clock, same time. It's the same time of evening at 7 o'clock.
Yes, thank you.
And I believe that will be the 4th Thursday of July.
Move to approve.
All right, and a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson to move the council meeting from July 16th to July 23rd at 7 p.m., which is the 4th Thursday of the month of July. All in favor?
Yeah.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Council meeting is moved.
This is the report in New Orleans Advocate Official Journal, bid from July 1st, 2020, beginning July 1st, 2020, and June 30th, 2021.
Okay, public hearing is now open to, if anyone to discuss, holding the advocate as our official journal. About that, just having, hiring the advocate to be good. Okay, so public hearing is now closed. Council discussion. Motion to accept the motion. Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Buddy. All in favor?
Yeah.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Advocate has been accepted as the official journal for the city of Marion.
We can address it now.
As a council, please state your name, address at the vote.
Mr. Mayor, I have a point of order real quick.
I'm sorry.
Point of order. We've got quite a few email comments in as required, whereas allowed by the advertisement. The city clerk has forwarded all those emails to us. She has printed them out for you to read. I know I have responded to most, if not all of them, that were sent directly to me by the citizens. So I move to dispense with the reading of the email comments, add all email comments to the meeting minutes by reference of name and topic, and publish the full text of all comments to the city website. So basically, we're not going to read the comments, but they'll be posted on the website for everyone to see, and we'll put them in the agenda by their name and the topic that they want to address.
Before we vote on that, I'd just like to have the opinion of city attorney.
Say it again. We are, we have email comments because of the limited capacity of the meeting. Nicole forwarded all those to us prior, she printed them out for us. And most of us have read them. So we're just dispensing with the reading of those comments and publishing them on the website. 7, 9? Some of them are more than that. It's more than that. It's quite a few of them. We probably double up the length of the meeting here by reading all of them.
The question is, most of the time people come and address the council in front of the public, but being that those are emailed to us and the public doesn't know them, well, we be able to do that.
So we
Second.
have a motion on the floor to dispense with the reading of the emails and listed in the agenda by individual and topic. All in favor?
And post
Oh, yeah,
it
and publish and post it on the
on
website.
on the city's website, as part of the meeting minutes, correct?
That's correct. We need to open, we need to
All right, so
open.
we gotta post it. All right, so
It's gonna be posted
In the
on.
minutes.
It will be in the minutes. We're gonna open public comment on this motion, so
Okay.
we'll open public comment on this motion.
Want to speak on this motion?
Thank you. We'll step back to this.
People email in.
Go ahead.
Can you all please take your mask off when you speak? People can't understand.
I'm not gonna remove mine.
Yeah, no problem.
I'll speak up if you can't hear me, please let me know, but I'm not removing
I was wearing a
You
fear
can't
protection.
understand what you're saying? Okay, I don't understand what y'all are getting at.
Okay,
All of these people that sent in an email, if they had been here, they would have spoken. They weren't here, they sent what you told them to send, and now you don't want to read it.
Right.
That's not fair to the people. Everybody in the audience and on the TV should understand y'all should read those comments that people made. If they were here, it would be on TV. Now you're telling them that you don't want to put it in paper. Half of the stuff they put in the paper is not right anyway.
Not the paper, ma'am. It will be.
Y'all just do whatever you feel like you want to do, when you want to do it. Now, to get back to this election thing,
we're not there yet.
Yeah, not there yet.
There are other people that want to comment on the email issue, so you can step back and we can talk about the election thing.
okay, I'll come back and talk about the election.
Thank you.
All I know is that, Jefferson Parish did this, the limited seating here, that's what we kind of requested. I don't know if it's an old version for y'all, but you have many emails, but, we kind of defer to your decision, just whatever you think, but I think that you need to be heard. I think, just out of courtesy.
We just showed you.
Here.
I know that, I still want to comment.
No, I understand. Make sure you're informed. Right thing all the time. Both sides. I just think that they need to be heard. I know Jefferson Parish did it. We kind of sent something in to Jefferson Parish, they read them all, and, kind of split, that, I know it's probably gonna take a little while. I think it's probably important that they heard it. The citizens deserve to be heard. So, thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. My suggestion is, we and John going to talk about this, but my suggestion is, if, and I'm not trying to put y'all on the spot, so you don't have to answer me, okay, I'm not asking a question. But my suggestion is, I know you guys are going into executive session, and you're gonna be talking about, maybe, going back to court, and going to court with this. And if that's the choice that you guys are gonna want to make, I would think that the residents would be just happy about that. And in that case, and believe me, I'm not expecting y'all for anything to say, please. But if that is y'all's decision, when you go back in there, and look, you go back to court, then I don't think it's necessary to read, because then I think that the residents would be happy, if Tim came out and said, we're going back to court, then it would not be necessary. I think that's what the residents really want you guys to do. So this can be something that you can take a break and just come talk about it to each other. And then, but if you're not going back to court, then I think it would need to be read. Okay, so I'm not trying to put you on a fence on it, at least forgive me if I sound like that. But I think that would be a way that you wouldn't have to read those things if that's what you chose to do. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
Cares and aid.
Is it about
Talking about
emails?
email stuff?
Is it about the emails?
No,
Okay, we're not.
is it about the fire?
We're not on that. Wait on, let's wait on that.
About the email, so.
What is this, gentlemen?
On the emails?
No.
Would you like to speak about the email?
No, I do not.
All right, close public
Okay,
hearing.
so now we're gonna close that.
Close public hearing.
Got a motion by Councilman Chatterley, a second by Councilman.
Before we proceed, can we consider the sender's name?
We making a motion to close the public hearing and we're gonna.
So I have a motion by Councilman Chatterley, second by Councilman Asbill, to close the public hearing. All right, council discussion.
My concern is same as them, is that we advertise that to send an email to have, if you can't make it, to have it read during a meeting. And I think this is not doing what I think the impression is that it's supposed to be. If people get the impression that we're supposed to send an email, have it read during time, they can't make it, especially during a limited space right now. That's just my opinion.
You know why we received 20 phone calls and 15 emails? Because somebody screamed the sky's falling. So these rumors, people run around saying, the city's making a deal with the Woods, they're making a deal, they're getting money, they're doing this. I can make up a rumor and just start spreading rumors and expect people to call and just lies and everybody believes them. And that's why you get these emails. All these emails are useless because no one's making a deal. Woods material is still under litigation. So all of these emails, we can read all you want. I disagree with it. The sky's falling. Everybody knows the sky's falling. They all coming in with the emails about Woods material, the Badger project, this and that. There is no secret. The fire millage, what's up? They come in and they say, oh, they didn't take the fire millage off. We sat up here and said, we're taking the fire millage off. We can't sit here and say, it's off until we receive paper from the Secretary of State. We received that paper yesterday or today. So this is all rumor mill causing all of this commotion. Work together, talk to somebody, call somebody, ask a question. So I'm not in favor of reading the email.
And I would just like to state, a lot of the emails, this individual, I don't know if this is actually a valid email address. This email says exactly what this email says. So I don't know if people were just, hey, let me send you my questions and you read this and then read that. Some of them are verbatim, word for word, what somebody is requesting to somebody else. So, I mean,
And some of
and
them,
then some of the emails address multiple issues.
and some of them, and what's more, some of them are from obviously fake email accounts. For example, for
I was gonna
example,
say,
with
Scott,
that area,
one email
at the
is
risk-
about-
for example, at the risk of being derogatory,
They're right here.
at the risk of being derogatory, we got an email from Harry Balls Onion.
We didn't get that one, but we got these.
We got it,
That's what we received.
and we're not reading it.
Okay, well, these are the ones that we got CC back on. I don't know what y'all.
You want to see, we got copies of it that was CC'd to us.
Public address is not open right now. We're having
These are
discussion.
official emails. I don't know who sent these, I don't know where they came
I'm not
from.
listening.
And I know somebody was gonna come out and say something.
I'm not listening.
John,
So you're not supposed to talk, you're supposed to talk only about the emails anyway. We're talking about something else.
You're not supposed to talk at all.
John.
You're supposed to say that, to us address multiple issues, that's what he's talking about. Some of them talk about woods. And this, again, this smoldering fire of woods, and then here comes the fire village, so,
I don't, we don't know what that is, Carrie.
I'm sorry.
We don't know what that is. We only have those right
No,
now.
well, we get them here, so what I'm just trying to, wait, Mr. Reeves, hold on one second.
John,
And Tommy knew what he told, he
No,
responded.
Mr. Reeves.
John,
The reason Eric brought up the fire millage is because in the email, it's kind of a catch-all of everything.
John,
So there's not a specific email about fire, there's not a specific one about woods,
we
there's a
don't,
little bit of
we
everything.
don't know about those, Carrie.
There's something you got about the fire proposal on your mattresses and your hoses.
We don't know about
I just
that.
think that in the future, if we decide to do this, that we specify in saying that you will not be read during the meeting, that we're just gonna post it, rather than thinking it's gonna be read.
I think post them is a better option. I think publish them on the website is a better option.
And I think we should say that in the future.
I've got a motion on the floor, it's the second, and I'd like to hear it.
Would you like to?
I want to vote on the motion.
Well, before we do it, we just got advice from city council. Let's vote on it.
Okay. The emails, all in favor?
Yeah.
Nay.
Who's second?
I'll second.
Eric.
I'll second.
Councilman Chatterley, second. Okay, all in favor?
Yay.
Nay.
Nay.
Okay, 2 yeas, 3 yeas.
I have no problem.
I move to read them now before anybody else addresses.
2 yeas, 3 days.
2 years, 3 years.
2 yeas, 3 yeas.
Okay, Madam Clerk,
It's time.
talking something like 45 minutes long. Verbatim. 2 minutes? Somebody was talking over 2 minutes.
Okay.
All right.
Madam
It's gonna be a long
Just
meeting if
so-
you want to sit down.
so-
She's gonna read the minutes, she's gonna read the comments.
I'm gonna point of order to read the comments, read the email comments first before we do.
Can't hear you.
I apologize. I've got a point of order to read the email comments before addressing council from the chamber.
With the understanding that I'll be timed for 2 minutes, so if I do not complete it in 2 minutes, then it'll still be posted.
You read.
All right, first one's from Chris and Vicky Holmes. My wife and I own a home in Harahan, a home that she moved into when she was 2 years old. We are strongly opposed to any potential zoning change that would allow wood companies to once again operate their composting facility within the city of Harahan. The court case appears.
Oh, use your microphone, please.
Ms. Johnson, would you not interrupt?
The
Thank you.
court case appears to favor the city and citizens of Harahan. And we ask that no compromise be entered that will allow wood companies to again compromise the health, safety, quality of life, and property values in Harahan. In the event we are unable to attend and or speak at any upcoming meeting regarding this issue, we ask that our correspondence be recorded and read into the record as opposing any zoning change that would allow wood companies to resume operation in Harahan. Please stand up for the citizens of Harahan as you are elected to do.
Before we move on to turns. Okay. So this is the one that came from 2 exact people. I'm not gonna read them twice, but I will state the emails that they came from. One is, I guess I can say the email address?
Yes.
Okay, so Noah, 70123 Yahoo, and then Benton, JS2Benton@bellsouth.net. My questions that hopefully will be read at the council meeting tonight. Number 1, will the fire department millage be on the ballot in August? Number 2, please clarify whether or not the city intends to allow new uses on the Bachelor and Harahan, and if so, will it be done by ordinance? Number 3, how do the mayor and council justify so many purchases of new vehicles by the police department when the fire department is in dire straits and it now seems the city is facing losses due to COVID? Number 4, please edit the ordinance removing the $15 fee on the water bill. The election did not happen in July, so it definitely did not pass. Number 5, I would like to discuss the fire department millage. First, the council puts the vote on Mother's Day weekend when so many are out of town or distracted with family events. Just like other millage votes all taking place on a holiday or event weekend like Jazz Fest. Then COVID happens and the date gets changed. So then a leaked letter put out by the fire chief to the mayor saying he wants the millage removed temporarily due to COVID. Assume residents will think the mayor will take it off the ballot. I'm sorry, and I know it sounds like run-ons, I'm just reading it how it is. Have council members tell constituents steps are being taken to take it off the ballot, but never address it at council meetings, or put up a resolution, take it off the ballot. So it's still on the ballot, but many residents think it's being taken off. And then there's only one slight difference on this one from Ms. Benton. This mayor and council may think the citizens are not aware. Is that not 2 minutes? I'm stopping.
Just, let me just say that the next councilwoman would try to belliger anyone that works in city government right now to try to move anything to us into a negative aspect. At this time in our lives with so much going on, it is truly, truly sad.
I'm gonna read Ms. Carolyn Clausing.
Okay.
As a member of the council, I feel pretty certain that you would not have run for this office. If you did not want what was best for Harahan. I feel sure that you want the quality of life in her hand and to be the best that it can possibly be. It has recently come to my attention that the company that operates the dump truck business is behind the levee, and Harahan again wants to establish a compost pile and business behind the levee. I think this is a terrible idea. It's going to create a nasty, smelly, unsanitary mess behind the levee. Behind it must be. But anyway, I thought this was an issue that had been settled some months ago, with the outcome being that the company would not have a compost pile behind the levee. They're back again with the same idea. If this company is allowed to do this, it would drastically decrease the quality of life for the citizens of Harahan. I further understand that they intend to offer Harahan some money as an inducement to allow them to create this business. I do not know all the legal ramifications that are connected with this endeavor, but I would hope that you would do everything in your power to prevent this company from doing what it wants to do. They have already proved to be uncaring about the citizens of Harahan and the way they run their dump truck businesses. I cannot believe that they would do a better job with a nasty compost pile. Perhaps a better site for this endeavor would be near the garbage dump in Waggaman, Louisiana. I will not be attending the meeting Thursday night because of my concerns about the coronavirus. I am 77-year-old senior citizen. However, I would hope that you will speak out against this for the people of Harahan who cannot be at the meeting. Thank you.
Nicole, I'll take the next three because these are kind of short. Okay, so this one is Melanie White. My questions are as follows. Will there be any agreement to allow other uses for the Badger? Will this be done by ordinance? I've been hearing that Mayor Bodier has been reassuring residents that this will not happen, but would like to hear it stated at a meeting. Will the fire department village be on the ballot in August? If not, when is it going to be on the ballot? Hope to hear clear and concise answers, either in writing or verbally at the next council meeting. Judy Johnson. In regard to the amendment.
Hold on one second. Are you planning to come up and talk to that?
No, she can read it.
Okay.
Okay.
In regards to the amendment to the budget ordinance introduced tonight, this will add $40,000 to the fire department's budget for hoses and nozzles. But I thought Jefferson Parish had donated funding for those and also another $4,000 in mattresses. How many mattresses will be purchased and will they actually be used on bed frames since the mattresses found at the station were on the floor? Does this mean the fire station is finally getting refurbished, but has the mold situation been addressed along with the leaks that caused it? You just read Chris Holmes, correct? Okay. I'm sorry, Janet Burkle. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing the name correctly. Dear Councilman, I'm absolutely opposed to any commercial compost to be permitted on the Badger. I'm requesting the city to fight this issue in the court and to request that Harahan receive the fines and penalties that are due to the city. In the past, we have already been through enough pollution that has affected us and the citizens of Harahan. Please hear this plea and represent the citizens of Harahan justly. Here's another short one real quick, Nicole, sorry. Judy Dufresne. We are opposed to the compost and mulching on the Badger in Harahan because when the mulching machine is running, you can hear the noise of the engine, plus flies, termite smells, and air quality. This is not a good thing for our city and residents. All right, and the other two remaining ones are pretty.
I'm gonna go to.
And before we move on also, Mr. and Mrs. Reams, you're in the stack also.
Yeah.
Do you want to be read or y'all want to get in talk or?
We got our own.
She can read it.
You want to read that?
You only get one bite.
We can still address the
No,
council.
ma'am, no, it's one bite.
Oh,
It's
okay,
either-
well,
We
we
got
got something to say, so you
Okay,
can
so
go ahead.
skip your email.
Yes,
It's
yes,
the same, right?
it's probably the same.
And then you get 3 minutes instead of 2.
Well, we get 3 minutes for it, so.
Yeah.
I'm doing, James. It's my understanding the mayor and council are considering the allowance of wood companies to resume commercial composting and mulching operations along the Harahan Badger. The city won a long court battle against woods to prevent such operations, and it's hard to believe we can throw those efforts away. I feel that any changes to our ordinances which allows composting and mulching by woods is short-sighted and not in the best interest of the community. Harahan doesn't have the resources to monitor woods operations, and the only protection we have are our ordinances, which have proven effective in several court cases with woods. The composting operations are a nuisance due to the smells generated when they turn over the decaying materials, noise from mulching, and increased health risks from the airborne mold, spores, and toxins. Wood materials have used animal waste in the past for their composting activities. They have a waste pile as big as a large house in the back of their property at one time, which attracted flies and smell throughout the neighborhood. What's to prevent them from doing this again? One to allow Woods operations, then we can't limit the size of their operations. The Woods operations are very close to residents along River Road, and any expansion has negative impacts on the home values and quality of life. I ask that you protect the citizens by not changing any ordinance.
So the next one I have. Just want to make sure it's, yes, but Robin Richmond? Just want to make sure that's not the same name. No. The operation of mulching should not be allowed. The awful odor and the high number of flies are just two of the obvious results of the mulching pits. As humans, we are just one of the victims of the impact associated with the pollution. Wildlife also suffers. The water quality due to the dredging and the runoff from the manure threatens the natural habitat of our fish, birds, and other wildlife. Our clean air and lush badgers should not be threatened again. The beauty of nature surrounds us on the levee since it has recovered from the sand, dust, and mulching. With the advent of the COVID-19 pandemic, the ability to get recreation out of doors is all that much more imperative. The kids, citizens, and all those who pass through our town on the levee can enjoy the fresh air without the worry of sand, dust, and dangerous spores in the air. Thanks go to Johnny and Evelyn, our spokespersons, but now there is a threat of a return to the mulching operation. I'm imploring the city council members and our mayor to be on the side of the people of Harahan. As a 5-time cancer survivor, I literally feel the effects of the clean air in my health. Please do not allow the mulching operation to return to our neighborhood.
I'll be Cassidy Sullivan. It has been brought to my attention that the Harahan Bachelor could be permitted for a commercial compost facility. As a new homeowner of Harahan, I feel this would negatively impact the quality of air and life and lower property values in Harahan. After years searching for a home in the New Orleans area, I chose Jefferson Parish and specifically Harahan for its positive qualities of life, cleaner air, quiet neighborhoods, access to the levee for walking and biking, and elevated flood zones with low crime rates. According to a study from Cornell University, the commercial compost facility will release bioaerosols, particles of microbial plant or animal origin and may be called organic dust. The health effects that have been noted include respiratory symptoms, mucosal membrane irritation, skin diseases, and markers showing immune system response. Is that what we want for the residents of Harahan? Please return to court and request to enter a permanent injunction against commercial composting and request the fines and penalties that are owed to the city of Harahan.
Gina Bourgeois. Mayor, council, city clerk. I recently came across a post on Nextdoor stating that there was a possibility Woods Material would be granted an ordinance to allow them to begin a composting operation on the river batch in Harahan. As a citizen extremely concerned about the health and well-being of our community, please note that I strongly oppose this ordinance. My family, including my young child, have lived just 2 houses from the river on Ray-Ban for the past 10 years. And already have had to deal with sand accumulating all over our property when the winds are out at a particular direction, especially on our patio furniture and my daughter's swing set, and have only recently received relief from the regular putrid odors drifting across the river and into our home from the landfill. The idea that we may have to deal with more odor and possible health issues from a new encroachment on our quality of life at our home in Harahan is extremely frustrating. Please do not allow this to happen in the sanctuary of our community. Please prevent this from being considered again in the future by issuing a permanent injunction on composting or any similar operation on the Badger steps away from our home. Additionally, please note that Nicole Lee may read my letter at tomorrow's council meeting, as I will not be attending due to social distancing for COVID-19. Thank you for your consideration.
John S. White. I am extremely disappointed to hear that the city of Harahan leadership team is considering an ordinance to make commercial composting a permitted use on the Harahan city badger. This is not only what the citizens of Harahan for numerous years. Through several city administrations have been fighting against. This is just not the right thing to do. I am sure I am getting false information. As an attendee to several of the court reviews in the most recent years, I noticed you are always in attendance to support the city position and to try and persuade Wood Materials to move their composting operation down toward the authorized Jefferson Parish area along the river. The distance, as I recall, is a couple of football fields in distance. Obviously not a hardship on their part. In fact, the wood company stated to the 24th judicial court in a court document that they would have stopped any operations within the city confines and have planned to move such operations to Jefferson Parish. Additionally, if this is some council member's idea as to how to finance our fire department, I would suggest they go back to the drawing board. And as such, we would be better off for the city to return to court, request the court to enter a permanent injunction against composting and to award Harahan fines and penalties that are owed to the city. This has not been done in my knowledge, and I'm suspicious as to why not. I oppose any ordinance for commercial composting, and I'm confident you will veto any move by the council to enact an ordinance, no matter where it's coming from. By email, I'm requesting Nicole Lee to read my email. By email copy, I'm requesting Nicole Lee to read my email of June 18th Harahan council meeting in case of limited seating. I'm also copying the aforementioned council members to this email, lest there be no misunderstanding of the citizen's position.
So this is Thomas Adler. I'll be honest with you, Mr. Adler, I will complete this, I'll do the best I can in the 2-minute allotted time. Request for public hearing to discuss issues associated with the NU non-urban zone plan. Jesus called us to love our neighbor. On June 9th, 2020, the Harahan River Ridge Air Quality Facebook group informed me of a desire to intensify the land use of the non-urban land within the city of Harahan for composting. On one side of the levee are families trying to raise their families in a healthy environment, and on the other are folks trying to make a living providing the materials we use on a daily basis. We are neighbors who need to find a middle ground. This letter is an attempt to provide alternatives for discussion so as to avoid a winner-take-all relationship between neighbors. The potential of nuisance orders. Composting and the processing of recycled wood products are, by their very nature, odorous. Nuisance odors might in fact lower overall city revenues due to lowered property values, which would be unfortunate if any rezone was made with an eye toward a higher revenue stream. An alternative to any rezoning proposal would be a conditional use permit. The conditional use permit could be crafted to require the installation of 4 permanent air quality monitoring stations surrounding the site, in parentheses, to be operated by the city. These air quality monitoring stations would ensure that the air quality standards are met during the 3-year term of the conditional use permit. If any air quality violations are not immediately rectified by the owner, the city would have grounds for not renewing the conditional use permit when the reissuance was considered at a public hearing. As a measure of goodwill, the residents could split the cost of the installation of the air quality monitoring station with the owner. Why River Ridge residents have standing.
I have one more.
Hearings.
No, they said that they're gonna come up,
Yeah.
so we don't have to read it.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And also, like I said, before we get back to address the council, I just want to, in the future, we either have to say, you have to be here to ask questions, or if you send an email, it's only to be posted online, we have to be very clear with people before we do it, in my opinion.
I'm gonna send some email next time.
So I think we have to let them know how we're gonna work and what we're gonna do, because a lot of this probably didn't need to be read here, and they probably didn't want it to be read here. I think a lot of this just wanted us to see it, like in the past, people email us all the time,
Sure.
telling us their feelings. I don't think,
Yeah, I don't
Probably
think, I
half
don't
of
think it
these-
offends anybody by
Right.
reading them.
right, probably half of these probably didn't really want them to be read, they just wanted our eyes to see it.
Yeah,
But-
and maybe the solution is next time, only read those that are sent after the public notice is made, because many of these were sent, beginning of the month before the public notice was even made, and to say that, email comments can be allowed. Move to address it. please.
Councilman Asbill, second by,
Second.
second by Councilman Bodie, to open up address the council. All in favor?
Yeah.
Address the council, 5-0 nays, address the council is now open. Please state your name and address at the podium.
Nadine Cascade, Harahan. Back again. This is in reference to the fire service charge. What happened to the proposed fire department millage that was voted on in June? I know the election has been moved to August. Is the millage still on the ballot since no resolution has been passed by the mayor or the council concerning removing this millage from the ballot? Did you pull it down? And if so, when did you pull it down? And who pulled it down? Could you explain the process?
Okay.
So what is,
Wait, can you finish everybody else and then we'll address everything?
Take the mask off so we can hear.
So I was just asking, and we'd like everybody to finish speaking, and then we can address everything. Or do you want to address?
Well, I know you all have a habit of telling people you're gonna answer and you don't come
Ms.
back.
Fagin, I think Councilman Chatterley already stated the fact that the letter was received, so,
Okay.
I handed it to the people.
oh, okay.
When I was sitting down, after I made the last comment, he gave me this letter
Right,
that it was pulled down.
correct.
Then
And
he
then-
also made a statement that you all had told us that it was pulled down. You have never discussed anything in reference to this
No.
village with us and told us you pulled it down. Anyway, he gave me this message, this letter. Who is Mr. Jason Axis? Foley and General
Those are bond attorneys.
Attorney, right? Is he a city attorney?
you know, he's our bond attorney.
He's a bond attorney? Okay. 'cause
Ma'am,
it said-
I'm gonna interrupt. We send this to the Secretary of State. They put it on the ballot. We gotta go through a process to get that removed off the ballot.
that's
We
what I wanna
can't
know.
sit up here and tell you that it's off the ballot until we receive that letter today.
Okay,
So that's why we publicly saying it's off the ballot.
okay. Now, the people didn't notice till you just came and gave me.
We just found out
We
today
just
it
found
was
out this
definitely off the
week.
ballot.
Okay,
It's
And
on the
it's gonna be
agenda.
announced later in
It's
the
gonna be
meeting.
announced later in the meeting.
It's gonna be on Facebook.
could you please explain the process? Because people, I didn't know the whole process
I
myself.
moved to,
And
this
I'm
is,
so,
this is
I
a
would
discussion
imagine
about
nobody
government.
else understood the whole process either. When did you all put it through to ask?
Ms. Fagin, if you actually need the exact date the paperwork was submitted to the Secretary of State, I don't know the exact date the paperwork was submitted. It took a little time. We had to make sure that it was all done. When we received the letter, I think it was 2 days ago, if I'm not mistaken, it might have been yesterday. Things are a little,
It's dated June the 1st.
but ma'am, just because a letter's dated, you know, they mailed it to us,
Who's
if
it
I'm not
addressed to? And
mistaken.
it's not addressed to the city, obviously.
Right, it's addressed to Foley and Judell, if I'm not
Right.
mistaken.
Correct.
So they received it and then it came to us. So they could have, I mean, we're not the postal service either, but as soon as we received it, if I'm not mistaken, it was posted all over Facebook today on various sites, letting know that here's the letter.
How to be real.
It's on the mayor's agenda to state it at the end.
Well, as you all know, I don't have a.
Miss Judy, Miss
And I don't
Fagin,
want one, so I'm not.
Ms. Fagin,
Ms.
it'll
Fagin,
be-
and we understand that, and so here's what the process is. If you have a Facebook account, we found out earlier. If you don't have a Facebook account, that's okay. You come to the meetings old school, and we appreciate that. We appreciate you being here. You come to the meetings and you find out the meetings. And guess what? Found out tonight. That's how the process works.
So it has been put down.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what
I
I
think it
want
was.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
because you all have never ever told us anything.
Ms.
Ms.
Fagin,
Fagin, that's
I
not-
found out today at 1:30 it was pulled down, 100%.
You came to the meeting.
Before that, I couldn't tell you that.
And you found
If
it.
I told you before it was on there, you'd call me a
I
liar.
did.
Ms.
You came to
Magee,
the meeting to find out.
we haven't
You
had
found
a
out.
public meeting in a month for you to find out. You found out
Come on.
at the first available public meeting. And you're being critical, ma'am.
And
It's not well received.
someone's putting you up here to make these statements. Thank you.
Just a-
That's
You have 3 minutes.
Very long life home resident, Harahan, 40 months old, less than 65. Recently I had cancer. I can't walk 3 blocks without taking a break for an hour to go again. Last year I bought an electric motor for my bike. I've riding for a year, not a problem. I was told today, I'm caught on it, I'm getting a ticket, or the bike's getting towed off and I'm going to jail. Why? I had to tell us illegal to ride electric bikes in Harahan. State of Louisiana says okay, federal government says okay. Harahan don't. Why, chief?
Was that? Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not for the chief to answer right now,
No,
but
that's it.
I'll look into that and see.
Anytime I stay home.
I'm not familiar with the laws on electric bikes where you can and can't ride them, so I'm not gonna sit here and make an answer.
Next time I meet, I'll bring the paperwork.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
awesome.
government says I can. Harahan says I can't. Somebody here made that rule.
Yeah, I didn't tell you you can't ride your bike, I didn't.
So do you have
enforce that, there's an ordinance that's in the
Harahan
state.
says, if I get caught with a motor, I'm probably gonna get jail.
Sir, did you get the, I'm sorry, sir, did you get the name of the, did you get
Yes,
the name
I
of the?
did, and I'd rather not say.
Okay, was it out here in front of City Hall this afternoon?
Close to.
Okay. Well,
Will you
so
ride- will
so
you
they've
ride
got a
it
chain of command,
on
they've got a
side?
chain of command over at the police department. I would suggest if you've got an issue with that officer, he's sitting in the
No, I
back of
have
the
no
room,
problem with
you
the
can
officer.
report him to the chief
I
of
have a
police.
problem with the law. The officer don't bother me at all. He's reciting Harahan law.
If you have a copy of that, can you get, I mean,
That's a law we're gonna have to look
I don't
at.
want you to ride your electric bike over here and bring it to me.
None of us are familiar with the law, we're not doubting that it may exist, we're not familiar.
That's why I asked you.
Can't address it.
He ought to know.
Well, you know, if you bring it, and like I said, I don't want you to be in trouble riding a bike over here, or your electric bike here, but if I can get a copy of the law, do you have a computer?
I can get one for this afternoon, like, stay in Louisiana.
I just like to see it. I can see how it's phrased or worded.
I'm getting that on the book.
I mean, because if there is special exception for someone in your condition with medical
Oh,
reasons,
I had no
you
idea.
know, well, let's check it out. Let's see if we can
All
help.
right. That'll work for me.
You got it, yes, sir. I mean, you.
I'm sure y'all seen me riding up and down the highway on that red three-wheel bicycle with a box on the back of it.
I didn't know if it was electric.
Yeah, I didn't know that thing was electric.
I saw you this afternoon pulled over in front of City Hall.
I thought you were like a champion peddler. I'm like, this guy's the Michael Phelps of peddling that three-wheel bike. All right, well,
We'll look into it too.
Yeah, let's see what you work on. Oh, yeah. Let's see what you work on.
I appreciate
You
it.
got it, thank you, yes, sir. We got the Michael.
John Newton, 3 Red Mass, Mayor and council and people of Harahan. The Bachelor zoning ordinance stood strong in the following. Harahan won the 1988 U.S. Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals court case upholding its Bachelor zoning ordinance, which freezes private commercial development at its present stage, protecting existing neighborhoods. In 1988, Mayor Carlo Ferrera stopped Wood Materials from erecting a mooring in the Mississippi River that would enable it to discharge dry bulk cargo, significantly expanding its operation. In 2008, Mayor Paul Johnston stopped wood companies from bringing limestone onto the Bachelor. In 2010, Mayor Paul Johnston stopped wood companies from bringing the commercial compost facility onto the Bachelor. In 2016, Mayor Tina Maselli cited the wood companies for the commercial compost facility operating in violation of the Harahan Bachelor ordinance. It's not a permitted use. In 2018, Jefferson Parish Chief Operating Officer Keith Conley addressed the Port of New Orleans with the Bachelor ordinance and stopped a different company from offloading of barges in the Mississippi River in Harahan. In 2019, the city of Harahan won the compost case in the Louisiana Supreme Court. In 2019, Mayor Tim Bodier stopped the DOTD from establishing an emergency debris dump site on the Bachelor using the same ordinance. If the mayor and council allow the commercial compost facility to be a permitted use, it will industrialize the Bachelor and could open the door for more industrial activity. Harahan needs to reduce pollution in the city, not add more pollution. Health risks associated with commercial compost facilities, odors, organic dust,
fungal mold spores, toxins, bacteria, viruses, allergens, wood dust, plant fibers, and Formosan termites. Organic dust can travel over 1/3 of a mile. Odors can travel almost a half a mile. Fungal spores can travel in the distances of miles. Mayor Tim, please go back to court for fines and penalties. Close the case and protect your citizens' health, welfare, quality of life, home property values, and people exercising on the levee. Thank you guys for standing up for the city of Harahan residents. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, that's not my question. Mayor Tim Bodie, when you were councilman, you sent 2 emails to Commissioner Mike Strain, LDAF, in 2017. We believe both emails were written from your heart. January 21st, 2017, dear Commissioner Mike Strain, I'm attaching a letter that I recently sent to your office. We are in desperate need of some help here in Harahan. I'm working with some great citizens to get a terrible problem resolved. Please read the attached letter and please at your convenience reach out to me. We need your leadership, guidance, and your help. Thank you so much, Harahan Council, Tim Bodie. August the 23rd, 2017. Commissioner Mike Strain, I'm very disappointed that my request to LDAF to immediately revoke Woodward Hills BMP has not been enforced yet. It is our desire for any company operating in Harahan to respect and obey the laws of Harahan. We expect LDAF to enforce the BMP requirement against Wood Materials. Because Wood Materials is operating against Harahan NU Master Zone Ordinance 1333. We look forward to you sending the city of Harahan and myself a copy of the road order to Wood Materials soon. Thank you, Harahan Councilman Tim Bodie. Mayor Tim, Mike Strain was not willing to revoke the BMP until the city won the compost case. The city won in the Supreme Court, so as mayor, you will be able to contact Mike Strain to revoke the BMP permit as you requested on April 23rd, 2017. Councilman Tommy Buddy, you sent an email to the residents' emails. There has been an informal settlement offer submitted to Wood to one councilman, that if accepted would allow for mulching. Please know I would not vote for anything unless it is in the best interest of Harahan. Councilman Tommy, this is not in the best interest of the residents. It will industrialize the Badger and will forever affect the residents' health, quality of life, property value, and people exercising on the levee. The Wood Company stated on August 19, 2019, in a court document to the 24th Judicial Court. The Wood Company has stopped any operations within the city confines and plan to move such operations to Jefferson Parish. The compost stopped 10 months ago and still sitting on the Badger Heritage. Mayor Tim, the city won the compost case in the Supreme Court, and now you can help by going back to court to let the judge make her judgment on the fines and penalties and close the case. Thank you for listening to me.
Johnson, you had your email read, and that addressed the council. You were given a choice for your email to read, or you just left it that. I'll make a motion to give him 3 minutes.
Judy Johnson, Young Around. Maybe what the new members on the council don't know is the point of sale for the sand and the compost was where it was delivered, which means the city got absolutely not 1 penny of sales tax. The only thing we got from Woods was their business license, and I believe it was $6,000.
It's actually the point of sale. So
Point
if
of sale.
something is sold in Harahan,
No,
no,
the
that's the
state
law.
told us a long time ago, the point of
Law
sale
of
was
point
where
of
it was
sale.
delivered.
That's not.
We just let it finish.
That's what we were told by the administration way back when. We did not get any payments from them for sales tax at all. They owe us a lot. They have destroyed our city. This permit that they got for the composting was started when they, after Katrina, when they put all the wood back there, and it grew from that. It was not allowed, but the mayor said yes. We need to tell them it's not allowed. Our zoning ordinance does not allow it at all, which I think is why they finally bought the sand pits that they've been operating. They can do that. That's allowed. Composting is not. Don't change the ordinance, please. This will ruin the city forever. You will destroy the property values of everybody who lives in this city. And you will see people leaving this town like crazy. Please, protect our city.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Hey, good evening. I'm Keith Moody. I reside at 411 Bailey in Harahan. I'm also the Assistant Chief of Police, the Operations Commander of the Harahan Police Department. Say again?
The guy, or the guy, pull the poor guy over.
I'm that guy. I like fish. Actually, I like fish a lot. I like his family. It has nothing to do with fish. He's a hell of a carpenter, by the way. The law is very clear. No motorized vehicles allowed in the state of Louisiana, including us. Okay.
Let him talk. Let you turn.
I'm gonna give you a little reference and you can hire an attorney. The bottom line is, when we're trying to make exceptions, if you drive a bicycle, you have to follow bicycle laws. You have to ride with the traffic, you have to have a light and a reflector. You can't ride on bicycles. You can't have it both, or you can't ride on sidewalks. You can have it both ways. Mr. Fish, I love him a lot. So it used to be, probably for the last year, the ongoing joke was, I'd get behind him and say, pedal fish, you know, so it looks like it's a bicycle. The problem is, like a lot of people, when they're off of work, they have a tendency to drink alcohol and things like that. So I've warned Fish several times, you can't drive a bicycle, a golf cart, motorized vehicle of any kind while you're drinking. And that was kind of the ongoing stuff. We've had several complaints, probably 30 in the last year, about his particular trike, which is a cool trike. So to address the matters, we made sure it was clear that no more brakes for anybody on golf carts. There's some people, believe it or not, that drive golf carts on the streets. They're gonna be cited. So we gave everybody a little break, a little warning period, a little, and believe it or not, there's some people that actually drive golf carts with beer kegs and beer bottles and drinking because they think they're not operating a motor vehicle while under the influence of, I'm gonna need a little more time, drugs or alcohol. You can be cited for drunk driving on a golf cart, a horse, a bicycle, a riding lawnmower. So I'm just trying to save a little aggravation for you. So his brother called me today, and I said, look, I understand that he's disabled and can't get around like he used to. So I said, get him a little scooter. See, scooters have a special provision under RS 32300.2, electric personal assisted mobility. I'm not going to recite the whole law, but it addresses kind of like his need. So his need is to be mobile, to be able to get back and forth to get his checks and his beer and things like that. Right. So there is a provision. However, that provision, and I'll just quote a little bit of this. For purposes of this section, this is the exemption to the motorized vehicle, shall mean a self-balancing non-tandem wheel device. Guess what? You have a tandem wheel device. It doesn't, now if you go get you one of those little scooters, mobility place, you can do that. It's not the same. I try to give you a fair warning. I love you like a brother, but you cannot operate those streets, nor can anybody operate golf carts on the city streets of Harahan, Louisiana. And we've been easy on you, give you warnings? Absolutely. However, COVID's done. You have the ability to be cited. I want like a little more.
Motion, one more minute.
So anyway, I guess I'm giving you notice to everybody. COVID's over as far as enforcement. You're gonna be cited for violations of the law. That's what we're here for. We're here to keep the city safe. Concerning, because it usually takes 2 or 3 times to tell people to listen, to get a point across. The new vehicles, the new equipment, the safety measures we've done for our police department has not been paid for by our operating budget or our capital budget. Those funds that you see, the new cars, the new equipment, the new vests, the new uniforms, the things that make it safe for our officers were paid for either by money that we got from Paul Johnson from Jefferson Parish or through a DOG asset forfeiture fund that was funded by getting dope, illegal things off the street. It goes into a federal fund, and because we have people that help get that stuff off the streets, we get a portion of that money. So all these new cars that you see, the new equipment, were paid for by non-Harahan citizen taxpayer dollars. So if you have any questions, my name is Keith Moody. My phone number is 220-0581. If you have anything you want to ask about the Harahan Police Department, please call me. I'm very proud of what we've done. Got a new sign out there donated by Signs Sign Works. Cost us nothing, okay? Nothing. Didn't cost you anything. It looks beautiful. Any questions about anything about the police department? The chief answers his phone. I answer my phone. And we're here to work with you for you to keep the city safe, not just mess with you, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Motion to close.
Anyone else?
We have a motion to close address the council. Motion by Councilman, second by Councilman Johnson, all in favor? Yeah. Okay, hearing's not closed.
You address a few things here, we will make sure. Rather than address them now, if anybody wants to leave during executive session. Yeah.
About what?
We're gonna be executive session last thing.
Just address a few to address the council.
Reports are next, anyway.
Secretary. Okay.
We do the reports before we go in executive.
All right, let's do that.
All right, Secretary's report for May, $293,029.59. Reports.
Chief Walker. I'm sorry, Chief Walker, report.
Statistics for Harahan Police Department for May 2020. Number of calls for service were 1,224. 10 auto accidents reported. 267 citations were issued for 418 different charges. There were 5 patrol requests. Narcotics arrests were 37. The charges were 42. There were 13 felony narcotic charges, 8 misdemeanors, and 21 city. Other arrests were 44 for 110 different charges, 11 felonies, 68 misdemeanors, 9 city, and 22 traffic. Person and property crimes, no murders, no rapes, no robberies, no residential burglaries, 1 non-residential burglary, no attempted burglary, no motor vehicle thefts, no attempted motor vehicle thefts, 3 larceny thefts, and 6 assaults. Again, had a very safe and happy 4th of July. Good night, God bless.
Good evening, citizens of Harahan Council. I'd like to announce that the city of Harahan has a link on its website that if you have a special needs person at your home and would like us to check on you after a storm or just know about you, whether you have someone that needs special assistance, if they have oxygen, if they're bedridden, and you just on a normal basis want us to know about it so that we can take that in consideration when planning on responding to your home for an incident. You can fill it out on the webpage. It will come to us. We can put it in our system, and when we're dispatched, we'll know about it. So please fill it out. Now, this is not for evacuations or anything like that. You would have to follow the emergency management through the parish for that. So pay attention to their instructions. However, if for locally, for our response, You can fill that link out on the city website, and we'll be happy to try to accommodate you in the best way that we can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Ezra?
So I'd like to address, first a few things that we did during the address of council. One of them was an email from former council member Sue Benton, and I just think it's, I think it's wild that she can, use the misinformation that she has, specifically regarding the fire millage, complaining about the date that the original election was on. Well, I don't know how many times we got to say it. I don't know how long you have to be an elected official to figure out that you don't actually set the dates as a council person. Secretary of State does that. So I just think it's ridiculous that she's just leaving that misinformation out there. And as far as the removal, I think we've addressed the removal enough tonight. I'm not even going to continue with that. Wood materials. So I'm going to make a kind of a blanket statement here in that I will not comment on pending litigation of the city, except to say that first I want to address Mr. and Mrs. Green. I went to your home on February 5th. We spent about an hour in your home discussing your issues and my issues. I listened to you, looked at all your stuff. After about an hour, I did tell you that I would consider every single option that was brought before me. And that I wouldn't be a good representative if I did not consider every single option. After which you insulted me by declaring that I did not care about the health of the Harahan residents. I ended the meeting at that point. Since then, I've told you and will continue to tell you and everyone the same thing. I will always consider every option that brings this expensive litigation and exhausting litigation to an end. But I speak unequivocally when I say I will never support any resolution to this matter that I think poses a health, safety, and welfare issue for the residents of Harahan, nor reduces our quality of life. Point in. A couple other small points on the Wood case regarding, just some logical things. Somebody's email said move it to Jefferson Parish. Okay, they're going to move it 500 feet to Jefferson Parish. We heard Mr. Ream get up and say spores travel over a third of a mile. Odors travel over half a mile. Fungus can travel for miles. So I don't understand how moving it 500 feet is going to help us, other than relying on the parish to regulate it. And we know what a great job they've done with the landfill. That's all. I've got one other, I'm going to end with a couple of positive notes. First of all, I hope everyone has a happy 4th of July. And be safe out there. We got an email from Ms. Dawn Benoit. She is one of the coaches at Harahan Playground. She's asked me to read this. She wants to throw a couple compliments out. Ms. Dawn Benoit has been a volunteer softball coach at Harahan Playground for over 30 years. Usually she coaches the Harahan 10U All-Star team and transitioned to coaching the parish-wide JPRD 12U team. This year, she is coaching the 12U Lady Hawks only due to the shortened season. She is here to say thank you for our investment that the mayor and council, along with the Athletic Association, has made for the children of our great city. Our newly renovated Wilcox Field is absolutely first class. Upgrades to the Dixie Youth Field, the gym, and the Fletcher Field have our playground looking the best it has in over a decade. No one can argue that in the last 7 to 8 years, our Lady Hawks softball program has been dominant under the guidance of girls supervisor Ms. Dina Gunkel. 1992, Harahan's first East Bay Championship. 2013, 8U Babe Ruth State Championships. 2012, 2015, 2017, 10U East Bay Champs. 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 12U East Bay Champs. 2014, 2015, East Bay Champs, 14U. 2019, 17U Babe Ruth East Bay Champions and Babe Ruth East Bay Champs. Also, 12U JPRD World Series champions in 2015 comprised of a majority Lady Hawks. There are too many Harahan girls to mention that have gone on to use their skills that they acquired at Harahan to play significant high school softball. Some have gone on to college softball. A few that have come to mind are Stephanie Hill at LSU, Tiffany Kospelich at Faulkner State, Michelle Lynn at Southeastern, Haley Findell at Coast Guard Academy, Jordan Perkins at LSU, and Ashley Ortiz at Spring Hill. It also brings me the joy to see a few ladies who have finished their softball careers return to Harahan and give their time to coach the next generation of Lady Hawks. Ann Villarubia, Ashley Juhas, Laura Raymond, Rosie Wood, Whitney Wood, and Alyssa Hellwig come to mind. Your investment in our young girls has allowed them to chase their dreams, hone their skills, and aspire to accomplish what the older girls before them have accomplished. Again, I thank you all very much, Ms. Dawn Benoit. If you haven't been out to the playground to see the upgrades and see the improvements that are made, please get out there because it looks the best it's ever been. Like she said, the best it's been in years. And we thank the playground staff for doing that. Thanks, that's all I have.
Councilman Buddy?
I'd just like to wish everybody good 4th of July. Be safe, keep social distancing. This isn't over yet. Thank you.
As we stated earlier, I made the comment that people just come up with rumors and everyone runs with them and just thinks the sky's falling. It's not the right thing to do, to just say there's an ordinance that's gonna allow them to do all of this stuff on a bachelor when it's not true. If anyone, just like Councilman Asbill said, if anyone comes to me with anything in the city, I'm gonna listen to them and decide where we're gonna go with it. But you have to listen, you know? So I'll tell you right now, I'm very upset with some of the people who are spreading these rumors. They know that's not how it works. They know there's a process that goes on. They know we're in litigation. So why spread the rumor? Sit back, relax, trust the people that you elected up here. And if you have a question, call us and talk to us. You know, I mean, been there, done that. I don't need to hear your comments. But the same note, you'll call us if you need something. Call us and ask that question, you know? And emails, I don't even know if these emails are true. Half these emails, you get fake emails from people all day long. I can sit here and form 6 email accounts and send emails to y'all all day long. If you want to talk to me, come see me, talk to me, call me on the phone. That's the way things get done. You know, it's not negative. Let's give something positive. I mean, the city looks great. The weather's been beautiful. You know, it's a shame everybody's locked up inside. You know, go outside, do something at the park. Everything's good. You know, let's move forward in a positive way. Stop the negativity. This city's got enough of that going around. New Orleans, Jefferson, everywhere. I'm honored to live in Harahan. I'm proud to represent Harahan. I'm proud of all of our employees. I thank every one of y'all. Thank you.
I just wanted to say, once we figure it out, what the city's going to do next as far as the emails and stuff go, pay attention that it's a council member, a mayor, or somebody with the city on Facebook. If they say something, then that's what we're going to work it forward. I'm sure it'll post it on the website also, once we figure out how we're going to do it with the emails, because just like Eric said, half of these, we don't know if half of them are right, especially with the one that was brought up earlier. Correct. I don't even want to repeat the name, but and that's it. Have a happy and safe 4th.
So Ms. Judy, your comment, I've been there, done that, okay? And I agree with Councilman Chatelain. It's exhausting month in and month out, seeing just the false stuff that's posted on Facebook. I mean, I wish people would just give us just a slight chance that we're doing the right thing. And I know that's very impossible for certain people in this city to do. I would think that a majority of people probably just give us the benefit of the doubt instead of taking something and spewing it. And I think, and it's almost done by design, because I know people get together like 3 days before a council meeting, because social media is just inflamed 72 hours prior to. Oh, let me tell you this. Oh, look, they bought 200,000 and they spent 700,000. Here we go, we're bankrupting the city. This is the 3rd month, Ms. Johnson, you and I have had this discussion about that.
Those are your figures, not mine.
So you're automatically assuming the last 3 months. And Ms. I know you've been in Harahan, you've been involved in this administration much longer than I ever will be. Has that not ever occurred before? Because I would think that you have expenses. It's like if you water your garden because it's really hot outside, you're probably gonna have a super water bill next month. It doesn't mean you're bankrupting yourself, you just have an additional expense. So has this ever occurred before? In the middle of a nationwide pandemic, by the way. Are you gonna answer?
Why, y'all don't answer.
No, I mean,
yes, it's happened.
It's happened. So I just find I find it extremely ironic that it's happened in many administrations, probably even prior to mine, probably to many of people that are sitting here as administration, and it was never a concern before, but now it's just alluding.
It's always a concern.
Really?
Yes.
Because in my last 4 years, or my prior 4 years, never once that I recall anyone getting up and questioning, I can only speak for my term, I'm not speaking for anybody else's, questioning the administration spent X amount of dollars or brought in X, excuse me, but spent Y. But yet, under the national pandemic that everybody, unless you're living on a rock, lately knows that revenue is down, businesses are probably not coming back. People are being laid off, it's affecting everyone, and we're gonna sit up here and just automatically assume that we're just bankrupt.
No, I'm not assuming anything, I'm going by your figures. Your CPA said last month, you're $150,000.
That's what he projected, Ms. Johnson, that's what he projected.
You did not say projected. He plainly stated you were $150,000 over budget.
I think what was said was it was projected that we would have a loss of revenue, which everybody in their right mind in the city would probably agree, from video poker. You like to, can you take your mask off, just so they can hear?
Yeah, this is Todd. I'd just like to mention that if I recall, what I did say is that we were projecting a decrease in sales tax revenue, similar to what we said tonight, and we were estimating that the decrease in sales tax revenue might be around 150,000. That's what was said, to the best of my recollection. We don't have the information yet to determine where we'll be at December 31st. So I'm not sure that I made any comment about what a deficit would be for the 2020 calendar year for the city.
No, not projected.
We just don't know yet.
It's all projection. Well, here's my thought. You know what? Let's get out and support our Harahan businesses. They need us. We probably need them right now more than ever. And let's just get out and support people. I wanted to remind everybody Tab's drawing, you know, it's very exciting. I won $50 last time. I might try it for 2 years in a row. And then that craft fair on July 11th. I don't know if you know, this past weekend, they had a smaller version of it out. I did stop by, bless their heart, not many people attended. I think people are still fearful of what's going on out. So if we can please get out there and support those vendors too. A lot of them, that's how they make their money. So again, the VFW raffle on next Saturday, the 27th, and then Saturday, July 11th, the craft fair. Ms. Reed just made me happy.
Yes, can I say just one thing, please? Okay, I'm just a little
Can I hear you?
Okay.
Can you take it off?
I'm just a little bit disappointed because I like that you said something to Judy and she got to respond to your closing remark. But Jason Esco, we didn't say nothing about him tonight, but he didn't give us a chance to comment on what he just said about. And I would just like to say that, you know, we did ask him, and we asked, you know, could y'all share with residents what y'all are considering or just thinking about?
Well, we met with every one of y'all and told you the game just accomplished.
And
Now,
Mr.
y'all
and Mrs.
keep
Reeves,
going
everybody
on.
that's sitting up here,
Okay,
Yeah.
but
usually concerns,
Well,
I think the frustration that we all have is, again, just like the speculation of the bankruptcy, or bankrupting the city, and we're not fiscally responsible. It goes out, I don't even know what next door is, that must be another social media thing, I don't know what that is, wait, just give me 1 second.
I'm sorry.
All of a sudden, we're proposing an ordinance. So immediately, you know, the sky's falling and everybody just took it and ran with it and, oh my God, I can't believe they turned their backs on us and all of this. And there's no such, and I think we would just, I'm gonna tell you, I was a little frustrated. Because this, I don't understand why people are just going out and just spewing this stuff to the public. And then I guess what upsets you is the public's believing it.
But we have a responsibility as
But Ms. Reeves, so do we.
You have a responsibility to prove facts. There's facts is there was no ordinance.
I didn't, but we didn't say it was, and y'all was thinking about it, and that's what we were just saying.
Come to the podium, Ms. Green. Come to the podium.
Thank you, Tim, I appreciate it. I don't want to be ugly at all, please forgive me, and this kind of just hurts us because, you know,
Speak to the mic so you can.
we represent the residents, and if we can't do a good job in it, then we shouldn't be representing the residents.
We were elected to represent the residents.
I know, Eric, I'm sorry. We didn't try to hurt you, okay?
I agree. It's the people, just take this and run with it.
But that wasn't our intentions, okay? Our intentions was, Jason was talking, we talked to Sarah, and something was
Ms. Reed.
shameful.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm gonna stop you because
Okay.
when I told you here that I was at the January council meeting, I informed you of that. And I asked you.
Thank you.
And I did ask you, please don't put this out there.
I didn't
Because we
hear
don't
you
even
say
know.
that. I'm sorry, I'm
We don't even know it's a possibility. And you said, okay, of course not. Yes, we won't do that. And I informed you because I understand you have been the lead of this. But for you to insult me like you did at your home,
I told you, I'm sorry, I said that.
and then to go ahead and put it all over Facebook, and it was very and it was
5 months ago that we talked to you, sir, 5 months ago.
and it was very misleading. You said that there was an ordinance, and I'm looking at it, you said that there was an ordinance being proposed to change the bachelor law.
Not proposed, working on.
Working on it.
So,
And there is no ordinance being worked on.
is that permitted use? Is compost a permitted use on the bachelor?
I'm not gonna comment on that because we have litigation. It's in litigation.
Is it permitted use on the bachelor?
It's in litigation right now.
Litigation.
We're not
Judge is gonna decide.
We're not gonna comment on the legal aspects of the case.
Listen, it's not our desire to fight with y'all. We've been addressing the council for 5 years. It was never our desire.
You're right. You've been a community activist for the past 5 years, and you know what happens when you put something on Facebook. And I don't appreciate that.
I don't have Facebook. I get snapshots all day long from my phone, from friends. Look at this, look at this, look at this.
Well, we weren't trying to start a problem, we just let these residents make a comment, just make a comment on how they felt. That's all we were
Well,
doing.
here's the reality. Matters of litigation. The city has not won anything. The Woods have not lost anything. It's a tennis match. It goes, one side hits, the other side returns. Right now, the city won an appeal on a major point with the Supreme Court. This case is far from over. It may go on for 2 more years. This is litigation. Nobody's won anything. It can go either way. We haven't won. And I know you said, ma'am, that the city's won.
I'll make a motion to go to executive session. I think we've discussed litigation. I don't want to get too far into it.
We can't talk too much about it.
Thank you for giving us the time.
I mean, what I said, I believe is all public
Thank you.
record.
Right, yeah.
I believe it's
I don't
public
want to
record.
get carried away.
And I want to make a point to something you said earlier. We don't make decisions in executive session. It's against the law. If we make a decision, it has to be in public. So when we go in there, we can get briefed on matters. We can discuss maybe a strategy. We can't make decisions. So I just want to go on the record and say, we don't go into an executive session and make decisions. We have to do that in public meetings.
We just thought that, it's been warned in the Supreme Court and she can't call them to discuss the penalties and fines and they didn't want to. So to us, it was something.
Okay, Mr.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Okay, just so we are all on the same page, I want to make sure that I'm very clear when I say this. The millage is pulled off the ballot. We have a letter from the Secretary of State saying so. So I want to be very clear, there will be no millage on the ballot. One more time, just so you don't hear me the first 2 times. There will be no millage on the ballot. I've been sitting up here now, this is my 11th and a half year sitting up here. And I gotta be honest with you, in all my 11 years, this is where we conducted city business in a public forum right here. This is how it's done. It's done before me this way. It's gonna be done after me this way. And I want to be very, very, very clear. I will never debate city business on Facebook or any social media platform. Let me say it again. I will never debate city business on any social media or Facebook platform. Never. The very strong word, it's a very definite word, never. So if you try to engage me on Facebook, I will not respond, especially the nasty ones that put up all that nasty comments and try to attack me and my family, which is absolutely degrading. Shame on you. Ms. Reams, I came here tonight and I gotta be honest with you, I didn't want to address you because I'm so brokenhearted with you that you can't even imagine. I have every step of the way have been so transparent with you on this case. I've been so honest with you. I've involved you in things and commentary that maybe I probably shouldn't have, just because I knew you were such a vocal person for this case. You came to me a few months ago and you basically told me, if if I don't see things your way and put the court back in case, that you're gonna have to go start communicating with the other side.
No, that's not true.
That was threat number one.
That's not true.
You came back in, I actually have a voicemail from you basically telling me during the COVID meetings that you wanted to make sure that you.
That's not true what you're saying.
I have a voicemail in a second, basically saying, I'm
That's
sorry,
not
I have a
true.
second,
That's not
I'm
true
not
what you're
debating
saying.
you.
It's not
I have a
true.
second
You told us
voicemail, basically
it'd be
saying
okay to
that.
put it in Jackson Parish, why can't you just put it here then?
I have a
said.
second voicemail from you saying that you want to be a part of the meeting that we were having on, what is it called? Zoom meeting, because you want to make sure we didn't slip an ordinance in
That is
behind our
not
back.
true.
Oh, well, I have that on voicemail. and I can back that
You
one
said
up.
that,
So
Tom, that's not true what you're saying about
then
us.
you go on Facebook and you try to address me on Facebook. You purposely shot emails at me, telling me about a
That's
proposed
not
ordinance
true what you're
where
saying.
no ordinance was ever
That's not
proposed.
true.
No pen to
That's
paper
not
was
true what
ever
you're
written.
saying. You're
But
not saying
here's my
true.
stance on the whole
You said
situation.
you can have it, why can't I have
I
it
don't
just in
honestly
Harahan?
understand how moving the problem 600 feet away
So
solves
let's leave it
it.
in, let's leave it in
I
Harahan
don't
then.
get
Let's
that.
leave it in Harahan then.
Number two, let me get something else straight, Mr. Judy Johnson. Woods is one of our top 10 taxpayers, just so you didn't know.
The mortgage,
Parish,
the mortgage is where you get the money from.
From the
All
parish.
Johnson
I'm not
knows.
addressing you. Thank you. I am addressing Ms. Johnson. She said that they didn't contribute anything to tax sales here because the point of sale wasn't here. Incorrect. The parish gives us a list of our top 10 sales tax providers. Woods is one of those, Woods is on that top 10 list. So.
I'm gonna make a point. I don't believe we get any sales tax revenue from barge activity. Zero.
Yes, you do. Ask
I
Paul
don't know.
Johnson.
$55
Ask Paul
a day
Johnson.
for rental for the barge
Yes.
spot. Just check on.
So again, I'd like to come back to the point, I want to end this on something positive.
You said you can leave it just in
If we're
Harahan.
if we're gonna use social media, let's use it to help people.
You just
I
said
mean,
you
look what
told
the
them you
world's
can
going
leave it
through
in
right now.
Harahan.
Look what we're dealing with right now. I mean, I will be 51 in June, and I can't tell you, I have never, I'm scared for my children. I've never seen nothing like this in my life. And Ms. Reeves, Mr. Johnny, what you did on Facebook and what you did with the other people,
No,
I'm
we
gonna
just
be
said
honest
what
with
you
you.
consider
You have
doing.
let evil into your hearts and
No,
homes,
no,
and I am upset
no,
with
that's
you.
not true. You told us that you wanted to keep it in Harahan. That
Move
means
that
you
we
wanted to
go
get
into
rid of it in
executive
Harahan.
So I'm gonna make a motion
You
to move
said you was
executive
gonna
session.
leave,
Thank you.
why don't you leave it in Harahan?
Executive session is now started.
If you said you're gonna leave it in Harahan, that means you're gonna do it. That means we're gonna make it a committed use because I'm gonna leave it in Harahan. Well, you can't say what you can't stand here and say things we did not say. That's not true. That was not true what you said. You just wanted to say somebody was worried. That's not true. I'll let you say. Whatever I tell you, come and speak with nobody else.
I don't think we get sales tax revenue.
It's the 72-hour day.
Tim, you know that's not true. Tim, you told us. You told us.
You were
why
my
can't I
friend
leave it
once.
in Jefferson
You were my
County?
friend once.
You said,
You're not my
why
friend
can't we
anymore.
leave it in Jefferson
You're not my
County?
friend.
That's not true. That's not true what he said. He told
I'm not worried
us.
about the bond.
He told us.
I know.
Why can't we leave it, he just said it right here, why can't we leave it in Jefferson Parish? Why in Harahan? Yeah, that's what he told us, yeah. And now he's saying, you know, he didn't say that? He did say that.
It's not over.
And what they said about us is not true either.
Executive session. Well, they're not gonna, they're trying to decide how much they're gonna take goods to stay in
And
Harahan.
that's terrible. I'm so upset with
It's
him.
selling us out, honey.
That's wrong.
I told you a long time ago, he lies.
That's so wrong. Tim, that's so wrong.
Judy, Tina did the same thing when she was the mayor. She robbed the sewer fund, okay? So let's not talk about Mayor Bode. Tina robbed the sewer fund to balance the general fund.
He said he said he had to let the meeting, 3 meetings happening. Why can't we leave it in Harahan?
So everybody's wrong, not just one person, you're all wrong. She robbed the sewer fund.
Wrong.
to
They don't
balance
give a
the
damn
general.
about us, honey, I can
That's
guarantee
wrong.
you.
Like she
Nobody
didn't
live
either,
in no
so,
more. This is a terrible city
They
to
don't
live
give a
in.
damn about us.
and Tina's administration didn't either, so don't just blame this administration.
That's what I gotta do. We need to get out of here. There's better places to live than Harahan, I'll tell you that right now.
Yep.
That's
People will be
terrible.
moving out like
This
crazy.
shouldn't be happening. They won in the Supreme Court. They won in the Supreme Court.
His house up for sale yesterday.
This is terrible. What town is doing,
My
this is
neighbor put
terrible.
my house up for sale
You're
yesterday.
gonna, you're saying, look what you said. Why can't it stay in
It's
Harahan?
already started.
Because it's not a permitted use. Because of the money that Wood will pay to the city. This is so
And
wrong.
that goes way back.
I want it to be as nice as possible,
sand
Mr.
trucks.
Moody. As
And
nice as possible.
we spoke our piece last week.
I want it to be as nice as possible, but that
They
is
told us
wrong.
home sale
That
was
is
where it
very
was
wrong.
All
delivered.
I can tell you is,
That's what they told
That's
us.
very wrong. I know, I said it wasn't gonna be like that either, but don't stand here and lie. I know, that's wrong.
And a little taste of what Jesus would do, baby.
I know, that's what I told Johnny tonight.
Pull it down.
That's wrong, that's very wrong. He lied about us. He sat right there and lied about us.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I don't believe that either.
off.
No, I don't believe that
You know,
either.
we need Jern and I don't.
I never would have expected that from Timothy. Never, never, never. Never would have expected it.
Yeah, YouTube still won.
What YouTube?
YouTube's still
That's,
alive.
that definitely recorded you.
Well, I mean, if it's recording me,
Yes,
then
that's
that's
still
good.
rolling.
That's good.
What the hell is that thing up there?
That's streaming it, so if we can see
That's
streaming,
what they're thinking about doing.
but it will
They
be,
want to
that
put
will
it
be
on
deleted. Yeah, the stream gets deleted when I upload mine.
That's just
Oh, I know. I think a lot of people watch this.
I'm sorry?
That's just for people to watch that can't be
Just
here.
tell everybody to
Exactly,
watch
that's
the
the
meeting.
official record.
Tell everybody to watch the meeting.
I'm trying to be as nice as I could up there. I didn't want to lose my cool, but don't tell me, you didn't say you want to move. Let it be, he told us 3 times at a meeting.
I told you
Why
before
can't
the
it stay in
meeting.
Harahan?
They've already sold us out, honey.
Terrible.
And like Buddy says, we didn't win anything. Yes, we did. The Supreme Court ruled that our zoning law stands.
All she wanted him to do was to settle on fines and penalties. That's all they had left to do.
I know.
Settle on fines. It was 1 in the 5 year, it was 1 in the 3 year. Fines and penalties was all that was left.
But they canceled that meeting.
Yes, I know
City
that.
When they canceled that meeting, I knew the writing was on the wall.
But don't tell me, he told us, why can't we leave it here in Harahan?
Oh, I know.
Because it's not a permitted use.
Oh, he's on the phone. I'm gonna ask him a question.
Is that door open when you use the restroom?
This is terrible, Lynette. This is
It's
terrible.
ridiculous. $50 for a ticket.
This is terrible. I'm glad I got a chance to talk, though. I hate when they wait till the very end and they say, we're gonna say, it's close, we do have, it's like, you can't say nothing. Talk when you up there.
no,
This is all.
Like you said, no, yeah,
Anyway, you don't want to get off the whole
They're not
time.
home. My ring doorbell rings all day long for people walking up and down the street.
They just did that to me to get me to explode. That's why they did. To get me to explode, being so nice, so kind.
Henderson.
It took
You
care
have a
of
question. You don't have a craft beer. Why
Oh.
don't you have a farmer's market?
You know, it's. Guys, I want to let y'all know that it's still live streaming right now. So I'm just giving y'all a heads
We're just
up.
telling the truth.
We can't hear y'all. Someone just texted me and said, just to let y'all know. I'm just letting y'all
Well,
know.
it's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong, though. You can't do that. You can't move it to Jefferson Tower, Harahan. No,
To
seriously.
answer your question is, we don't,
Wrong.
we've been
It's
tempted
wrong.
to, but
You know, it's not
farmers
the right thing
don't
to do.
come. Now, we have
It's
had
been 1 in the Supreme
several,
Court,
yeah, we have.
and they only have to go back to fines and penalties,
We've had
that's it.
in our craft fairs, okay?
Uh-huh.
But,
But I mean,
they just
I mean,
can't
we've
do
had
it.
several requests for farmer's
I
market.
got nothing
Look,
wrong
I've
with
had-
it.
Y'all check with some of them, they might go.
I've been approached by
Well, we don't say nothing that we wouldn't say if we were up there speaking ourselves.
communities to do things,
don't go back in Harahan.
Nobody
It goes,
can.
it leaves Harahan. Just
We,
because
look, we
the
take all
environmental team,
former people,
that
we
work
have
5
a
days a
lot of food people there.
that's right, you need to get out of Harahan. It's one. It's one in 5 years and one in 3 years.
We
Go
try.
back to 7 times.
Why don't y'all put it on
That's
Facebook?
it.
You need farmers.
Oh, we do.
I haven't seen it. Working on this thing a
Well,
long
you
time.
need to like our Facebook page, number one. And,
We never did anything wrong.
BFW, those 3267.
Next time, how you gonna sell it? You tell the people what you're considering
For
doing.
$100.
We sold it for the parking lot. We sold it for $500.
500?
I just wanted to fix
No, we sold it for like 230.
Take us wrong.
230,000.
The paper said 100.
It was 2 lots, 115 apiece.
Yeah, this paper said $100.
But I mean, we spent 35,000 redoing the parking lot.
Yeah.
And we spent almost 100,000 fixing the roof.
Yeah.
And now the inside is being painted, but yeah, it's,
It's
we had other things. we
It's
need-
like to come back.
Thank goodness I did that when we did it in February, because right after that COVID started. But we'd be bankrupt, you know, we only make money. We only make money when we rent the hall. You know, we make a little bit of money when we do craft fairs and stuff like that.
I mean, if you also talk to some of the other farmers markets, like the one in Kenner and there's one in New Orleans.
Man, we would love to have them there.
Maybe they would come. People are asking for it.
They do, I mean, like I said, the community has approached me, plenty of people
Yeah.
to do things, but then when I do them, it's like, area don't come out, rivers don't come out, you know?
I don't know, because, I mean, my daughter's going across the lake every week.
Hey, if she wants to help head it up, get it in.
No, she's got enough on a plate.
You know, that's fine, I mean, I work full time,
Yeah.
I have a 2-year-old baby, and, BFW is another full-time job, you know?
Yeah.
You just do for, like, doing it. They don't pay you.
Well, maybe we'll work on trying to get to some people.
You know, we get not so much fresh produce, but we get a lot of people to salsa, olives.
I think they want more fresh produce.
I'm from Baton Rouge, and kind of spent my most of my life. I'm used to having a farmer's market that's open every day right there. They don't have that, they don't have that.
Yeah,
in this area.
But we used to have people in Harahan who raised stuff on their own. The younger ones don't want to do that.
Yeah, we try to do as much as we can, like I said, people bring us ideas and we'll try. Yeah, we never done a craft fair for years ago. Somebody approached, I had somebody rent a hall, I said, man, I can do this myself.
Once a year.
Thank you.
April 6th, we're gonna call the meeting back to order. No action was taken, executive session was discussion purpose only. Madam Clerk, pay the bills.
Bills paid today, $770,104.82.
We have a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson, all in favor?
Yes.
5 days, 0 days, we are adjourned.
What you been up to, bro? Not much, how are you? What you doing these days? A whole lot. Working on contracts and it's all. All right, you come back. How was Hey, over 10 miles. About my side.